Hey there flippers, and welcome back to Second Life Treasures. So in today's video we are heading back out to the normal charity shops, and we are going to sort of try and find some bits that we can sort of flip on eBay. So yes, we are going to start off today in the Demelza outlet, and I've come straight in and I'm literally going to I'm just literally hitting the clothes sort of straight away. Really sort of rifling through, sort of looking to see what I can find. But also sort of now that the boot fairs are finished, obviously we are going to be doing a lot more charity shop hunts. So what I'm going to try, or what I'm trying to sort of do, is to keep the Tuesday videos at the normal charity shops that we've been going to since the channel first started. Then the Saturday videos are gonna switch to the sort of the other two places that we've started going. So one week we'll go to one week we'll go to the next, and then I'll sort of alternate through them. And then Saturday will also become the day that I do sort of some other videos as well. So like we've got the new series coming up, sort of start a resale business with £10. Which, I'll be honest, I haven't even started filming, planning or anything yet. So I hopefully hopefully gonna get to that this week so that it's ready for the first Saturday in November. And then what else? Yeah, obviously the midweek charity shop hunts are back now as well, so they will sort of carry on. What I'll do is I will keep it in sort of this format up until next year when the boot fairs reopen, and once the boot fairs reopen we'll then sort of switch back to the sort of two boot fair videos a week and a charity shop video, but well, that's the plan at the moment. It's what, 6 months? So we've got 6 months until the boot fairs reopen. So a lot might change then. We don't know, but that is the plan sort of going forward. But yeah, so yeah, it's been a really good week actually, sort of with the charity shops. So obviously what I am doing now is, when you see the video here, actually before I forget, just looking at the video sort of while I'm talking, you'll see there that we've still got the smudge mark in the bottom right corner. This is actually the last video that was filmed with the old camera, so I'm tempted to get the old camera sort of framed and sort of put up on the wall because it was so hard working for us. But yeah, this is the last video to use the old camera. So as of sort of from following this video, all of the videos filmed for the channel now will be on the new camera. So yeah, obviously the quality's there. Obviously I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone as well that's been giving me feedback on the new camera. It's taken me a couple of sort of weeks to sort of dial in the settings, but I think I'm about there now. So yeah, hopefully we'll be back to sort of getting the videos out. But as I say, the new camera, I'm so impressed with it. The quality is just sort of head and shoulders above sort of what we were getting on the old camera, and the fact that it's got a bigger field of view on it just makes it so much easier to get everything in frame. Because I know a lot of the time what I was doing with the old camera is, if it wasn't quite positioned right, I could be looking at something and it actually end up being sort of above or below the camera, but I don't seem to have had that with the new camera. I might have done and I've just missed it, but yeah, I'm really sort of happy with it. I think it was a good investment for the channel. But yes, so we are just finishing off the racks in Demelza. I'm not going to be doing the full sort of walk around Demelza today because I was in there quite a long time. I think while I was sort of putting the edit together, I cut my time in half, and that was still sort of 8 minutes of the video. So I have sort of cut down the demelza portion to just that jumper that you saw me pick up. So that was a, I believe it was a lamb's wool jumper, but we'll go into it in a bit more detail sort of in the pickups part at the end of the video. So I think we're just about to wrap up here, and we'll head off to... Yes, so we're now at Sue Ryder, and I've already I've come in, sort of looked at the DVDs and that, and I've sort of headed up to the back here, and as I'm walking up here, this sort of jumped out at me. Look at the bottom or anything like that, there's no sort of markings or anything like that. All I could sort of tell was that it was I'm assuming it's Mother Goose, and it's a teapot. So out comes the phone, even though there are some people that don't agree with me going to the phone all the time. It is what it is. I use the tools that I've got. But yeah, so I sort of put in a search for sort of Mother Goose teapot. I think I put in a search for Mother Goose teapot, and nothing really sort of comes up. And there is another sort of app that I use when it comes to sort of trying to track down stuff that I've literally I'm not finding anything on eBay. Especially sort of stuff like this, where it's sort of very abstract with regards to sort of what you're actually searching for. Sort of like if you're looking sort of for like a book or a board game or a puzzle, or even that teapot that we bought from Bernardo's in the midweek hunt a couple of weeks ago, that was easy to find. But now you see there that I'm actually taking a photo of it, and the photo is being analysed. So I'm actually using the Google app. So the Google app actually allows you to do a photo search. So I could take a well, what have I got? If I basically, where you see me there, I've taken a photo of the teapot. Google's then sort of analysed that photo, gone off to the web and tried to find stuff that sort of matches it. Sometimes it's not overly accurate, but other times it's literally spot on. So if you are sort of out and you're sourcing, you're struggling to find something on eBay, it's always worth sort of make sure you've got the Google app installed, and use the sort of photo search. I don't know why I'm flicking that glass. I have no clue what I'm listening for. But yeah, the photo search can be can give you so much sort of more information. So as I say, it is definitely one that's sort of worth adding to the arsenal of sort of tools that you'll take out when you're sourcing. The two main apps that I use are both sort of Google, the Google app, and then the eBay app. 9 times out of 10 you will sort of find something. Next pickup, so this is another thing that I was sort of looking at. So it's a Mr. Bean game. I will say now, I do end up picking this up, but when I record the pickups part of the video, I hadn't actually sorted through it yet. And I sorted it out sort of just after filming the pickups part, ready to sort of get it photographed and put up onto eBay, and it's missing bits, unfortunately. And unfortunately the bits that it's missing are crucial. So there are 4 sort of players pieces within the game, and they're all missing. I couldn't sort of open the boxes at the charity shop because it was taped up. So a lot of charity shops, what they'll do is they will tape up sort of board games, puzzles, DVDs, games, everything like that, to stop well, with the board games and the puzzles, it's probably to stop things getting dropped out. I know with sort of like the DVDs, the games and things like that, it's to stop theft, because I've seen the amount of times I go into sort of charity shops and I've looked at things, opened up the case and the case is empty, where people have basically lost the discs themselves and thought, well, it's got it in a charity shop, they won't care, I'll just nick the disc. Yeah, I'll leave you all to make your own opinions up on people like that. Yeah, so I couldn't check the Mr. Bean game sort of in the store. It is what it is. I'm not sort of massively disappointed. I will say that I have gone through the Cluedo. The Cluedo is complete and is actually in really, really good condition. So that has been sort of put up onto the eBay store. Then I'm now on to sort of the women's clothing. Looking at sort of the women's tops. And this sort of jumped out at me. So it was obviously Disney. But sort of as I'm looking through it, I then sort of realised that I think it was Primark. So I knew as soon as I see things like sort of Primark, New Look, I think there's a couple of others that I see, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd sort of skip over them because there's no real resale value in them. So yeah, it is what it is. As I say, it's all the fun of the hunt as far as I'm concerned. So just finish, obviously the good thing with Sue Ryder is it does have sort of a lot of racks of women's clothing. Unfortunately, they have loads of racks of women's clothes. I find this in most of the charity shops actually. They have loads of racks of women's clothing, but the men's stuff is always very small and compact. So whether it is that sort of us men, we just hoard our clothes or wear them to destruction, I know I do. I don't do clothes shopping myself. I will literally wear things to destruction. You'll probably notice in the videos as well, whenever you see my trainers, I think I've had these trainers for 15 years at this point. Yeah, I just sort of tend to sort of wear things to destruction. Talking about men's clothes though, we do find this men's leather jacket. And yes, it is a leather jacket. For responding to sort of one of the comments that I've had recently. But yeah, it is what it is. As I say, I've found that sort of like when I've been outsourcing, sort of especially since I've started adding clothes in, I'd probably say that I've actually picked up more men's clothing than I have women's. But I think what it is I find with the women's clothes, it is a lot of the sort of the lower price brands. So like your Primark, your is it 2? I think, which is Sainsbury's, which is another one actually I forgot earlier on. Yeah, there's sort of you tend to sort of find, you go through the racks and there's a lot of the same stuff. Whereas I find sort of when you're looking at right, before we go actually, there's not going to be we're right. Just in Making a Difference Maidstone actually.
Yeah, same old.
And I'm sort of looking through.
What's that?
I do get a pickup from here, but I don't actually end up finding it until I'm literally just walking out the shop. And at the time I've already turned off the camera. Yeah, I do make a pickup from here. It is a plush pickup, and you'll see that in the pickups part of the video. But what is one thing I will say about sort of Making a Difference in Maidstone, they are actually moving. So I was in there Saturday just gone, and I was sort of talking to the staff there, because I will admit the staff in there are absolutely amazing. I think I've said it a couple of times before. There's a member of staff there, and I really hope that I'm getting her name right. I think it's Angie, and every time I walk in she's like, "Oh, cameraman," and she always strikes a pose for me. And she's done that I think since about the second week that I went out doing charity shops. And we do tend to sort of have a bit of a conversation sort of every time I'm in there. But I've also sort of been talking to the gentleman that runs the store as well. And yeah, they are actually moving I think they've told, well, I think they're aiming for the first week in November now, to actually move to the new store, and that will be essentially they're moving into an old Argos store, so it's going to be massive, so much more room for them. And what Angie was sort of telling me the other week was that they've got so much sort of like electrical stuff in storage, that yeah, I'm really excited to go down there, and as soon as I've sort of got the nod that they're sort of in and up and running, I'll be heading down there, and I probably will make sure I put that footage into the charity shop hunt for that week, just as a sort of let's do a tour of their new store, because as I say, it's something that I've been looking forward to for a while. I've been sort of talking with them. I've known about it for about sort of 2 months now, but I think there's been some delays in actually getting the sort of the lease secured. But yeah, I went past when I went past this weekend, I've seen the sort of all the sort of for rent signs had sort of come down. So when I went in, I asked about it, and they were like, yeah, it's all sorted, we're due to go in sort of the first week in November. So yes, keep your eye out for that one, and sort of good luck to everyone there. Hopefully the move goes sort of nice and smooth. I think they have already said they've got stuff in there already, so they are in the process of setting up. So now we are in, I always forget this one. Is it Age UK, I think? I think this one is Age UK. And you've seen me pick up, I've got a couple of bits there. I've got a game for myself, a cookery book for the wife, just to sort of help grease the wheels. And just then I sort of picked up a men's Ralph Lauren knit hoodie. I can't remember what the material is, but yeah, looking at it, it all looked legitimate, so that's why I picked it up. And now we pop into Save the Children. So yeah, you'll find what I will say is there's been quite a few bits in this video today where I have cut out the audio. This is because sort of all of the places have had the radio on, so there's been music playing in the background, and yeah, just want to avoid any problems. So I've already been sort of out the back, looked through sort of the DVDs and that are sort of round the back, looked through the kids section. There was nothing really there, but then I come back to the front, and we've got sort of like the women's sort of jumpers just here on this rack. And a lot of things that what I will say is a lot of things that I'm looking for is I am looking for things that I think will appeal to sort of a wide age range, because you do get sort of sometimes a lot of the sort of like jumpers and the cardigans in the charity shops, what I call sort of grandma jumpers. So they're the sort of jumpers that my nan would have worn. So I tend to sort of leave stuff like that. Now I've sort of gone over to the men's rack, and as I'm flicking through, I see this Fred Perry jumper sort of stand out. So I have a look at the tag. Once again, I can't remember what it's made of, but I know I do sort of look it up. As I've sort of said time and time again, and I've even sort of said in this video, so if you are ever outsourcing, you're ever unsure, there's nothing wrong with sort of looking it up, because yeah, equally the amount of times that I've looked something up in the store, sort of seen the prices, because you're in more of a rush when you're sort of looking it up in the store. So yeah, I tend to sort of look them up. I'll see, like, there's been quite a few times where I've sort of seen something, oh yeah, settling for about sort of £15–20, and then when I get home, obviously I then look into things in a bit more detail, because obviously I've got my spreadsheet that I use for sort of tracking all the finances. And on that spreadsheet, I also have another section for sort of what I've got titled as current stock. And that allows me to sort of work out sort of the profit and loss for each item. And yeah, there's been a couple of times where obviously I'm sort of doing my research sort of in a bit more detail when I get home, and then start seeing that no, it's actually, so instead of 15 to 20, it could be sort of 7 to 10. Which can then have sort of a completely different sort of dynamic on sort of what the whether that item's profitable or not. But yeah, I do the sort of process that I have is obviously I'll look at it in the store, then sort of research it a bit more when I get home, and then try and make the best of the situation. But now, so in this bit, I just want to go through what is happening, because as I'm looking in the windows, there are a couple of, and you see it just on the edge there, there you go, just at the top of the screen, you've got that bag there with a camera in it. Now it's got a camera, couple of lenses, the bag and everything. And if I remember rightly, they've got it priced up at £35. So once I finish recording, or once I sort of turn the camera off, I then do a bit more research on the camera, sort of look it up on eBay, see what it's selling for. And I do actually sort of have a go at it, but things don't go well with it, and I will go into more detail on that once we get to the pickups part of the video, because I do cover it towards the end. But yeah, let's just say it's not the best result. But what we're going to do now is I am going to sort of wrap up with my talking, and I'm going to hand this over to other Stuart to deal with the pickups. Okay, so we are back from the charity shops, and what an absolutely cracking haul we managed to get today. So we're just going to dive straight into it, because there is a lot to go through. And the first one that we're going to sort of look at is the Marks and Spencer's men's lamb wool jumper in pink. We paid £2 for this, but from the label, hopefully I can zoom into it, there you go. So you see it says St Michael's from Marks and Spencer's. If I remember rightly, the St Michael's brand was something that was used up until sort of mid to late 90s. So yeah, potentially this is a bit more vintage than sort of everything else. I'm not 100% sure. As I say, I'm not a Marks and Spencer shopper. I'm definitely not sort of in their target demographic. But yeah, I think this is probably sort of mid to late sort of 90s. But yeah, we paid £2 for this. Looking online, we'll sell this for about £12. So that would be a £4.90 profit. Then next up, we've got the Mr. Bean, the game. So this is a Mr. Bean board game. I haven't had it open yet to sort of go through to sort of make sure everything's there. But I will probably do that afterwards, after this, because I think once I finish doing this, I'll get it photographed and then get it uploaded to eBay. So yeah, we paid £2.50 for this. Looking online, I'm seeing sold comps of about £15. So that would net us a £5.99 profit. And then also, at the same time, we also bought the electronic talking Cluedo. So once again, I haven't had a chance to sort of open it up and see if everything's there. But we paid £3.75 for this. Looking online, I'm seeing sold comps of about £16. So that would net us a £5.61 profit. So yeah, very nice. Sort of two board games. I've not been picking up as many board games recently. It's mostly been jigsaw puzzles recently. So yes. And then we move right into the middle. We've got a Syndrome from The Incredibles talking plush. We picked this up from Making a Difference in Maidstone. We paid £1 for this. Looking online, I'm seeing sold comps of about £10. I think when I was sort of looking in the shop, I was seeing sort of about 15, so that's one of the reasons why I picked it up. But equally, it was £1. Sold comp for a tenner. That would still make us a £3.54 profit. And then we go on to, I mean, this is another Sue Ryder one. So I think the 2 board games and the leather jacket both come from Sue Ryder. So this is a men's full-length leather jacket in extra large. We paid £7 for this, and like with most of the leather jackets, probably sort of be able to sell that for about £30. So that would be a £13.98 profit. Then we move on to a Ralph Lauren men's hoodie. So it's I can't remember what material it is, but you see it's sort of like a knit hoodie. Yeah, Ralph Lauren, it's a large. We paid £3 for this, and looking online, I'll probably be able to sell it for about £15. That would be a £6.52 profit. And then the final pickup for today, and it's got a bit buried sort of on the table, but it's a Fred Perry men's black jumper in a medium. We paid £3 for this. Looking online, I'm seeing sold comps of about £12. So that would be a £3.90 profit. So yeah, really chuffed today. But what you would have also seen today is that I also picked up a camera. So I picked it up, sort of it was in its case, it had sort of a load of lenses, sort of looked like a really good set. I think I paid £35 for it. So did pay up a bit for it, but looking online, the sold comps were about sort of £60 to £70. But unfortunately, when I got it home, I was testing it, and as I was sort of looking sort of more and more into it, I could see that it was extremely water damaged. So it was a real disappointment. But luckily, we bought it out of Peggy Wood. And the woman on the till, she was very adamant that I sort of had a receipt and that I was able to sort of return it if there was anything wrong with it. So luckily I was able to sort of return it, because yeah, I thought £35 was sort of quite a lot to sort of lose out on. But yeah, we did end up returning that, unfortunately, which was a bit disappointing, but it does happen sometimes, and I was just fortunate that I was in the position that I was able to sort of return it. But that is going to be all of the pickups for today. So let's have a look and see what the totals were. So total spend today was £22 and 25p. Obviously that's not including the £35 for the camera, because obviously we have now returned it. Total expected sale price is £110, and that would net us a total profit of £44 and 44p. So yeah, definitely not a bad sort of haul today. Not as good as normal. Normally I like to be around the sort of 50 to 55% on the profit. So like 50 to 55% of the total sale price. So I need to have a look at the figures on this one. I may have it sort of a bit wrong. But even still, £22 spend to get a £44 profit is really good. Obviously, one thing as well, is I know a lot of people sort of get confused with sort of how I work out my profit. That £44 profit does not include the spend. So all in all, sort of once it's all said and done, out of today we should have just over £66 sort of in our hands from sort of what we bought today. So yeah, I know I am probably going to look sort of put this in my new series. I'm going to show you sort of all the spreadsheet that I use and everything. But yeah, hopefully sort of like with the new series that sort of comes along, where we're going to be starting a resale business for with £10, it will be a bit more clearer sort of how I work everything out. But with that said, that is going to be the end of today's video. But before you head off, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to sort of give it a thumbs up. And also, if you're not already, sort of consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell to be kept up to date when I upload videos just like this. And yeah, with that said, thank you so much for watching today. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.